Unmute my mic. Hello, 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 SheEO District. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Wealth Week in the SheEO District. Ladies, we hope you've all had a great day. And gentlemen, if you're watching, but we all have a special treat for you. This is going to be fun and as well as informative. We have a very special guest, Miss Sharon Mason Love here from A Plus Tax Firm. I hope I'm saying that right. Tax firm out of Douglasville, Georgia. She's going to educate us on anything that's new that's coming up for the 2022 tax season, and also give us a few nuggets about what we should be looking for as entrepreneurs, things that we should be doing as entrepreneurs as our as our taxes are concerned. I know a lot of us are still working in 9 to 5, so she's gonna be here to educate us, as well as we're going to have, of course, we're going to have some girl talk in here and there. So go ahead and share this broadcast. You know what, ladies, go ahead and share this broadcast with your fellow business besties or anyone in business that needs this information. Guys, it is imperative that we have our taxes in order. And I'm actually going to be taking notes myself as she is speaking on tonight. So go ahead, share this broadcast. I'm going to share this broadcast out as well. Make sure that we are on in the SheEO District, and welcome to any other groups that we may be broadcasting from. But go ahead and share this broadcast. I think this is going to be a good one and a much needed one, because a lot of us, we aren't educated on the real ins and outs of taxes. It's so much to know. So it's important that you are including, or you are contracting out a real tax professional, like tax professional, not just your H&R Block. Nothing wrong with them, but as you level up, then we need to go ahead and enlist someone that's more personal to you and that knows their stuff as far as your life and your business is concerned. So take about 30 seconds and go ahead and share this broadcast. I am doing the same thing, and we will go ahead and get started. Again, I hope everyone's had a great day. We are full on into the Christmas holidays. Our neighborhood is literally lit up with outside lights and trees, including mine. I don't have my tree up yet, but we are lit on the outside. So, all right. So tonight, I'm going to go ahead and bring Miss Sharon up. So I'm going to read her bio, and then I'm going to go ahead and bring her up. So tonight, we have the pleasure of having Miss Sharon Mason Love. Miss Sharon, let's start with your story. So she is married to Mr. David Love. She's a mother of 7 kids, five biological and 2 bonus kids from her current marriage. So she became a grandmother. She refers to her kids as her fabulous 5, her joy, her inspiration, her reason for success. She currently became a grandmother of a 3-month-old bouncing adorable baby boy who is the new added center of attention. She is a Jill of many trades, aka a serial entrepreneur. She enjoys painting, braiding hair, party decorating, and applying eyelash extensions. She is a profound founder and CEO of A-countability plus tax services. She started her tax business to educate other entrepreneurs in the areas of taxes and how to conduct a successful business. In 2017, she continued her accounting education and graduated with a bachelor in accounting, and is currently pursuing her master's in leadership in the 21st century. Leaders inspire action and adaptability in an unpredictable world. She has been in business for over 20 years, and she has mentored other tax professionals to launch their own tax companies successfully. She believes in that mentoring is the key to succession planning. It is a powerful way to develop the next generation of firm leaders. She recently launched a Facebook group called Douglasville Small Business Plug, which is a community of small business owners in the Douglasville area. This group is a haven for small business owners to unwind and discuss the plague of being a small business owner without judgment and ridicule. It is a group to unleash and let the steam out, talk about struggles faced by small business owners. She was inspired to start her tax business because she was a victim of tax fraud over 20 years ago and was extremely frustrated with the system and how things operated. Overall, it has been overall has it been relatively smooth? If not, what were some of the struggles along the way? And I'm going to let her answer that question live. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up Miss Sharon Mason Love. Thank you so much for joining us on tonight. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I am awesome, awesome, awesome. So, we're gonna put a pin in that question, really, really quick. You have obviously an extensive bio, but we always like to ask, from the mouth of the queen that we are hosting on tonight. Who is Sharon Mason Love?
You ready? You said it. You said it all. You said it all. I am a Jill, not Jack, because Jack is a man.
I like that.
Of many trades. I enjoy doing a lot of things, but believe it or not, I really enjoy painting. Something a lot of people don't know. I love to paint. I enjoy braiding hair every now and then. So yeah, listen. Any way to make the money, I'm down for it.
Now listen, okay. So we had the that was interesting that I read that you started your tax business because you were a victim of fraud 20 years ago. Talk about that for us.
So what happened was, the terminology young and dumb. That was me. I had my first child at the age of 17, turning 18, and I thought I was grown. So I went out there, went to H&R Block to do my taxes, and never even thought about looking at the paperwork. When I finally looked at the paperwork, I realized that they did not put my daughter on my tax return for about 3 to 4 years.
Oh, wow.
I happened to look back. I pulled all my tax returns from 1993, the first one that I ever filed, until 2020. I mean, until that time, it was until maybe it was 1990 something. I don't remember exactly what year it was. And I looked at it. I'm like, wait a minute. Why do they have 2 kids on here? They took the 3rd child, and I never knew.
Wow.
Never knew.
So were you able to go back and reconcile, or just kind of?
Nah, it's a loss. It's
gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how so I guess from the frustration of dealing with that, what clicked in your mind to say, hey, I'm going to learn, as much as I can about taxes and go into business with this?
Well, also, my ex-husband at the time, we had a construction business, and I would hear the term write off, didn't know what it means. So I decided to take a course at H&R Block to kind of learn on how to do our taxes, because I wanted to do them, like most people do. They want to do their own taxes. And I took the course from there, and from there it just went left. Like, I took the course, they called me, asked me to work each tax season. I went to work for them, and that's how it started. Because what people don't know is, well, I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. You probably can tell.
We can hear it.
You can hear it? Okay. But I went to school for nursing.
Oh, wow.
I went to school for nursing. And when I left high school, I left with my LPN, because back then they used to give it to you. So when I moved to Georgia, I moved here to work at Grady Hospital.
Wow.
After I got here, I decided I didn't want to do that. And it was Freaknik weekend. This is my first year in Georgia. I'm like, oh my God. Like, New York have what we call Labor Day weekend. Just as wild, but this was different with young people. And there was a job fair, and UPS was there, the corporate office. And I went and had an interview with them, and they hired me. And they hired me in their accounting department and payroll. That's what started for me. That's where my niche came from. I would look at people's paycheck and like, oh my God, he made all that money. What's this tax thing? Like, I became so intrigued with the numbers, like numbers that were driving your paycheck up and down. And I used to play with I'm not even going to tell y'all that, because I don't want y'all to do that. No bad habit. But That's how it started.
That's how it started.
That's how it
Wow.
started.
It's always interesting to know the backstory of, people who are in business, and we're in all types of industries. So it's
Mhm.
always interesting to hear the backstory. And typically it doesn't start that way. You know what I mean? It kind of evolves because of life and things that happen to us
Absolutely.
in life. Yes.
Absolutely.
And it kind of evolves into that business. So you went from nursing to accounting.
And I still do nursing to this day. I'm now a certified CNA, and I
Uh-huh.
only do nursing like on my off season. But
Mm-hmm.
these past 2 years, we've had no off season with taxes, so I generally love dealing with elderly. So
Awesome,
yeah,
awesome, awesome. So, just throw it out there. Miss Sharon actually is going to become, one of our premier referrals for taxes
I'm
in the SheEO
excited.
district. And ladies, we're going to talk about this, but it is imperative that you hire a professional. Especially if you she's going to talk about this. Received your PPPs and all that stuff. So we'll get into that. But it is imperative that you hire a professional. I'm actually going to be enlisting Miss Sharon myself, because I too 12 years ago was a victim of tax fraud that it still lingers, even today. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually going to be bringing Sharon on as part of my team to help me get my business in order to take it to the next level, because you don't want to scale your business and it's a mess in the foundation. So that's what you don't want to
Yeah,
do, right, Miss Sharon?
absolutely. And I saw a lot of that this year when the pandemic started. Everybody wanted to get unemployment because they were self-employed. That was fine. But that wasn't the big money. The big money was the PPP. When the PPP came around, so many of my people did not qualify because they did not have their books in order. That was the biggest issue. And you had people that were making money at their business, but guess what? They write everything off.
Mm-hmm.
So when we get your tax return, I look at it and I'm looking at your Schedule C and it's negative, you ain't make no money. You
Right.
didn't make any money, especially not on paper.
Right. And that's contrary to the value add for being an entrepreneur. Is you get to write off your whole life, blah, 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 blah. So we're gonna dispel that myth. So that I'm hearing that's not true. You don't want to write off everything because it leaves you not making any income for your business. Is that right?
Absolutely. Um, it's become a bad habit for people. And the reason why a lot of working people who are self-employed do it is because they want to understate their income. So say for instance you
Mm-hmm.
have somebody who's made 60, 70,000 for the year. Their federal is like $2,000. That's low.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My rule of thumb for my clients is your federal should be 10% of what you made. So if you made 60,000, you should be at least at 6,000 at your federal withholding. And then you have to remember that there's tax brackets. So the more you make, your tax bracket do change. And a lot of us, we have that $1 million mentality,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't show it on paper. Like we feel like we still working at McDonald's and we want earned income credit. Well, you don't qualify.
Right. Right.
You're out of that, And I always
Right.
tell people, if you want to qualify for earned income credit, I can tell you how. Get a job at McDonald's, Dollar General. There's places out there that pay minimum wage, and you
Yes.
can get earned income credit for your kids if that's what you're living for. There's some people who live for tax time, and I get it. There's people out here who truly, truly need the money. There's people who truly, truly don't make a lot of money, and that earned income credit is helpful. But then there's my entrepreneurs that want to write everything off so they can qualify to get earned income credit.
Wow. So I'm going to put your rule of thumb. That was really good what you said. So your rule of thumb is what?
10%, and that's low ball
So 10% of
of your total income.
okay, 10% of your total income.
Especially if you're over 50,000.
Total income. If you're over 50, if you're over 50,000.
Right. Because the brackets change. They go from 10, 15, I think it's 20, 25, 27. So if you're in the 20% bracket, you should be at least 15%.
Okay.
Okay.
Rule of thumb, your federal should be 10% of your total income if over 50, especially if over 50,000.
Right. And that's just my rule of thumb. That's a
Okay.
safe haven.
Yes.
That's just a safe haven. So that when you come to file your taxes, you won't be stressed out owing money. And then the first thing that you want to do is you want to write off your profitable business.
Right.
Hmm.
Right. So in reality, you were profitable, but on paper, you were not.
Exactly.
And also, how does that hurt us when we try to go and use our income to get, loans for cars or loans for houses? That impacts your eligibility to do so because they're looking at paperwork. They're looking at the numbers, right? So does that negatively impact your ability to go out and get funding for car, house, or whatever?
It does. It does because they're looking at your total income.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if you have a business and you made 50,000 and you made another, say 30, 40,000 on a W-2, that's almost 90,000. But if you write all that off, you're only at 40,000. So the bank's looking at you like, hey, this is a liability. They don't make the money.
Mm-hmm.
But credit plays a good part in that as well. Sometimes your credit is good and you don't make a substantial amount of money, you still get what you want. But at the end of the day, especially now with the lending that's
Mm-hmm.
going on, they want to make sure that whatever you buy, that you can pay them back. Because people don't think that banks want their money back, and they do.
Yes, they do.
They do.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So really quick, I know you started off, so you'll be a good person to answer this question. So you started off with H&R Block. So what is the value of, and I know a lot of entrepreneurs who still go to H&R, and nothing wrong
Yeah.
with that, right? But when you know better, you want to do better, right? So what is the value in going, hiring a tax professional like yourself versus going to H&R Block if you are an entrepreneur,
Well,
and especially an entrepreneur with a 9 to 5 job?
you said it earlier. There's nothing wrong with H&R Block, okay? Let me just say this. I will never say that another tax professional, another tax company is not good. It's not the
Mm-hmm.
company, it's the person. So if you've been going to H&R Block for years and you have a preparer there that you have been working with for years and they understand you, they know your finances, they know you like your doctor know you, like
Mm-hmm.
your hairstylist, like your nail tech, then stick with them.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they're at H&R Block doesn't mean that they're going to give you any less of professional work. Now, the difference with my company versus H&R Block is that our relationships thrive off of personal relationships with our clients. Like we know our clients know us. When you come into the office, you're coming to see Sharon.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to H&R Block, there's a chance that when you go there, you don't belong to that preparer unless you ask them. You'll get the
Right.
next person.
Right.
So we have a history. I know about you. I understand what's going on. There's clients who come to me and I can say to them, hey, last year you took money out your 401k. Did you take money out again this year? Or because I know them, I can say, hey, I don't have your 1098T. Your child was in school. Like there's certain things that I know to ask them
Mm-hmm.
because we have that relationship. I
Right.
understand their finances. So
Right.
that is the difference. I will always say, one thing I always tell people is that you have to find your preparer like you find anything else. You need to
Mm-hmm.
find what fits you. I
Yes.
am not for everybody. Everybody is not for me. And I've been doing this long enough to know there's some clients that I don't want to deal with. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to deal with because one, they don't want to do the right thing. They don't want to report. Um, they don't always have all their documents together. And some of those clients can be headaches. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody is not for me. And I'm not for everybody. So you have to find a preparer that fits your personality. You should interview. Let me tell you, I interview my clients now. I talk to them.
Yes.
And if we don't fit, it's okay. I may refer you to somebody else that you may can work with.
Yes.
So it's all right. It's okay. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I've learned that years ago. It's okay. Everybody's not my client. And I'm not for everybody. So that's fine.
And that's a rule of thumb just in business. I don't care what you're doing.
Business, yeah. Everybody
Everybody is not for you, right?
No, no.
But the maturity in business is, hey, you're not the person for me. You, of course, you want to word it right, but I have someone for you, right?
Network. That's right.
It's not a no. It's just no. It's not me. It's just not
Yeah,
me. But I have
exactly.
someone for you. So that's business maturity right there, Miss Sharon.
Yeah. And I
Absolutely,
have a network
absolutely.
of other tax professionals that I do work with. I have another young lady who I refer people if they're truck drivers. That's her niche. I can
Mm-hmm.
do them, but that's her niche. So if it's really complicated and truck driver have a lot going on, I refer them over to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, really quick, so what are, like, in your mind, from your professional perspective, what are like the top three mistakes or misinformation out there for entrepreneurs concerning taxes? I know one, we just dispelled that you don't write off every single thing because it lowers, your income. So, what's another how are we misinformed in the marketplace as far as entrepreneurs are concerned, and as it relates to taxes?
Well, one thing people are scared of is reporting their income and paying quarterly taxes. And what I always try to tell people is that quarterly taxes is not a bad thing. So when you work and you have a W-2, your job automatically takes out your Medicare and Social Security, right? When we're self-employed, we file our taxes. The way we get Social Security is through Medicare. So if you pay nothing in the system, you get nothing out. So you kind of cheat yourself if you're not actually claiming that money and paying taxes on it. Those taxes that you pay are Medicare and Social Security. Okay. I wrote it down, so I want to make sure I gave y'all the exact amount. So it's 15.3% of what you pay. 12.4% of that is Social Security. 2.9 is Medicare. Okay. So when you decide, well, I don't want to put my income on there because I want to go over. I made too much, and that's another myth. I always try to discourage people when they say I made too much. What is too much money? I don't know. Tell me. Tell me. I don't know. What is too much money? So, those I try to change people's mindset. You didn't make too much money. You just didn't pay enough taxes. That's all.
Right.
So that's one myth. Just because you have a business don't mean you're always going to owe taxes. If you pay your quarterly taxes, sometimes you actually get a refund back. But people are scared. They don't want to owe.
So talk a little bit about that, Miss Sharon, paying quarterly taxes.
Okay. So quarterly taxes. When you file your taxes, right? Most time you have a W-2. It's for all year long. Quarterly, 4 times a year, you pay the IRS 15.3% of the gross that you made. Okay. That is for your taxes. That's the Medicare and Social Security I just told you about. So every quarter, it's actually April 15th, June 15th, September 15th, and January 15th. What you're supposed to do let me just back up a little bit. Let me go back a little bit before I get into there. Bookkeeping. If you have good bookkeeping, all of these things that we're talking about, it's going to be so much easier on you. When you're writing stuff down on a piece of paper, you don't have a good invoice system, you lose all of your expenses and your income, and it's never a true financial statement of what you really made. Okay. So if you have bookkeeping, every quarter you will go to your books and you'll see what you made. You may made $15,000 for the quarter. You want to pay 15.3% of that to the IRS for your taxes on that quarter, each quarter. So when you go to file at the end of the year, there's a possibility that you may have paid too much and you'll get something back. But you won't run into the issue of owing them a whole lot of money, not unless you made in 100, 200,000 and you aren't paying anything. Then yeah, you're gonna owe. So are you following me?
Yes. Yeah. I'm following you. Yes.
I want to make
So it's in our best interest to pay quarterly, in your opinion, if we can.
And then to get a step further, if you're an entrepreneur and you're making over 60,000 profit, you probably need to be an S corp.
And can you explain briefly the reason why?
Okay. The reason why you want to be an S corp is because S corps do not pay taxes when they file their tax return. The 1120 is what we call it. It's more of an informational tax return to the IRS. You're telling the IRS, hey, my business made $125,000 after my expenses and blah, blah, blah. I made a profit of $25,000. I'm lowballing it. That $25,000 is what you'll pay taxes on. not that 125,000. So that's the difference of being an S corp versus filing your taxes as a sole proprietor. It's a big difference.
Wow.
Taxes.
Wow.
All about saving money. So I used to be a sole proprietor, meaning that everything went on my Schedule C, because everybody knows what Schedule C is. Everything went on my 1040. I no longer do that. I'm an S corp. So I filed my business return on 11/20, and then the profit from that goes on a form called a K1, which flows over to your 1040. So they know, hey, this is a S corp and they made money from their business, and this is what they're claiming, and this is what they're paying taxes on. So instead of somebody paying taxes on 200 something thousand, you pay on just the profit, not the entire gross. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Look, y'all need to look, y'all. We gonna have her information up at the end. Y'all look, get your pen and pad ready, your notes in your phone or whatever to get Miss Sharon's information, because she is dropping. I've never heard that.
Yeah.
I've not heard that before. But again, that's why you are the professional. I am not. But you want to get somebody who knows their stuff.
I definitely learned the hard way, because I was doing just like everybody else. I had 5 kids. So it was easy for me to just put 30, 40,000 on my tax return and get money back because I had children. And I understood that. And a lot of people understand that. But once I changed my mindset, when I wanted to buy a house, when I wanted to invest and do things, I was like, well, hey, here go my tax return. And they'll look at my tax return and be like, well, you didn't make enough money. And I'm like, I did. But it didn't show on paper. So the best thing for me to do was put myself on a W-2.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Turn myself into an S corp because I made enough money to be an S corp. So I pay myself wages, and then whatever money my business makes, it makes.
That's the business.
Easy breezy.
Look, ladies, if you all have some questions, go ahead and drop it in the chat. We'll definitely make sure that Miss Sharon answers all of your questions. Okay, so what changes or what updates are coming up in 2020 that we may need to know about, or giving a heads up about it?
Well, one of the big things that's a concern for a lot of us tax professionals is that advance child tax payment that they sent out to people. That's a big issue. And it's an issue because people swap children. So say, for instance, this year you decide you want to claim, or last year you claimed a child. Well, you would be eligible to get those payments, and you probably would have gotten it if you didn't opt out of it. But then when you go to file this year, you say, well, no, my ex-husband is going to claim the child. Guess what? Now you're going to owe that money back.
Wow.
So that's a big issue. That's something that a lot of people are concerned with. This year, taxes was really a headache.
Wow.
And one reason why is because they send people notices. They send you guys notices to let you know what your stimulus payments are. And people throw them away because they got the money and they spent it. But when it's time to do your taxes, we need to know the exact amount. And if you put the wrong amount, and if you give your tax professional the wrong amount, guess what? Now it's going to be held up by the IRS because now they have to verify. So I encourage people. One thing I do want to encourage people is the letters that you get from the IRS with your EIP payments on it, even the third stimulus, keep them, because as tax professionals, we need it. Another thing I would like to encourage people to do is to go onto the irs.gov and get an account, see what you owe, see what's going on. I'm going to give you a perfect example. I'm going to use myself, okay, because I'm very transparent. I did my own taxes, right? I'm preaching to the choir. And I thought that I got my second stimulus because the way they send it was really crazy. They wound up sending me checks because I didn't get my tax return until this year from last year, okay? So when I did my taxes this year, I put in there that I got my second stimulus payment. They sent me a letter. I'm like, why are they sending me a letter? Like, I do the taxes. I know what's going on here. And this is just an honest mistake. Like, I feel like I know my stuff. Well, the payment that they originally sent me was the third stimulus payment, not the second. I went online and looked and saw that I never got my second. So that's why it's being held up. My fault. My fault.
Wow. Look, thank you for your transparency. Look.
It's my fault. I did it to myself. But it's because if you look on your IRS account, it'll tell you. And sometimes it's good to look because people report things on other people and they don't know what's there. Like
Wow.
if you're doing stuff with Robinhood, I mean, is it Robinhood? No, what is it called? It's an app. I think it is called Robinhood. The app online that you can do stocks and stuff.
Yeah, it's Robinhood.
It's Robinhood. They sent me 1099s. I never got any of them. But I pulled my report and saw it on there. They were small amounts, but they sent me 10 of them. I didn't get one of them, and not one of them. Wow. So it's always good to check because people could be reporting the wrong thing on you, especially if you're 1099. You want to make sure that what they're reporting is what you actually made. I've seen that too. Somebody coming with a 1099, they're like, I didn't make all this money. Well, guess what? They reported it, and now you got to claim it.
So how would you go about correcting that?
You will have to correct it with the vendor that gave it to you. And it's hard. It's hard.
They would have to correct it on their end.
And send it into the IRS, and then you'll have to do an amendment on your tax return.
Gotcha. Wow.
It's a headache.
Girl.
We got our work cut out for us.
Listen, look, the information alone, much less have to deal with the people. Goodness gracious.
Oh my God. This is another story. But there are some tools out here that people can use. And I want to share this with you guys. There's some books that I always encourage my clients to get, just so they can understand more about taxes and what they're doing. It's one of them that I purchased called Tax Power Self-Employed. It gives you a lot of deductions that you can actually claim for your business. So you don't have to try to make things up. It's right here. People try to make stuff up, like you don't need to make it up. It's in the book. I have another one. This is a good one. The Small Business Startup Kit. And what I like about this book is that a lot of times people come to me and they go, I got my LLC. And because I am who I am, I go, that's nice. And I even clap for them. Like, I'm glad you got your LLC. Okay. In the tax world, it means nothing to us. It just means that you have a limited liability corporation. And if somebody wants to sue, they can't sue your personal, they sue your business. That is all it means. All we care about is a sole proprietor, S Corp, C Corp, nonprofit organizations. We don't care anything about you being an LLC. And people don't realize that. They think that it's something grand. It's just the way you set your company up. But a book like this will teach you on how to set your company up to make sure that you are setting it up correctly. To make sure that for tax wise, is that you want to make sure that the way you set your company up is the way that you really need it to be. Sometimes some people set it up wrong. They set it up wrong. So this is called the Small Business Startup Kit. Okay. This one is Tax Power for Self-Employed. This is my favorite one, guys. LLC or corporation. And these books are good to read because then you'll understand the difference between being an LLC, being an S Corp, being a corporation, and why you're doing it. Okay.
And are those books that we can find on Amazon?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay. I'll actually put the links to those books in the chat after the broadcast has ended.
And this one's called Single Member LLC.
Single member LLC. Okay.
This is the LLC that everybody have, and they don't understand why they have it. So this is also a good book to get. And I'll also send you the links for all of these books here as well.
So I'm going to see if we have any questions so far.
Okay.
If not, no questions so far. So ladies, we have about 10 minutes, about 7 minutes left. So if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat and we'll make sure that we get them to Miss Sharon. But we're going to head to our next question.
Okay.
So take us through the process if we were to want to engage you, as our tax professional.
Okay. Well, the process is pretty simple. You'll contact me. I usually like to do a 15-minute consultation so I know where you are, so I can understand your tax situation. I will ask you for at least the last 2 years of your tax return so I can see how you've been filing and your pattern. Okay. And I like to go over it as well to make sure that you have been doing things the right way, because sometimes people do their own taxes or other professionals do them, and there's incorrect stuff on there. So I do like to review that. And then basically, we'll talk. And then if I'm a good fit for you, then I'll give you an engagement letter. And then we'll go from there and file your taxes. Just send me all your documentations. I review it. I go over it. I explain to you if you owe, why you owe. I try to do tax planning with my clients to let them understand, hey, if you don't want to owe, you need to do X, Y, Z.
Mm-hmm.
So we do a lot of tax planning and educate. And for me, the biggest thing, and you'll always see me go live, is to educate people. Because once you know, you do better. A lot of times people just don't know.
And
So
let
I'm
me tell
really
you
big
how
on
she makes it
education.
go down a little better. She'll dance for a little while before she
I
actually goes.
will.
And she's a great dancer, by the way. She'll
And
dance a little bit,
that's my other
get you
love. I love to
relaxed.
dance.
Then she'll hit you with the information.
Yes, yes,
But
definitely.
she's always entertained. That's one thing that drew me in. Like, I love watching her dance,
Thank
especially in the
you.
morning. You want to see somebody just, you don't want to see people with their lips stuck out. Like, I like to see people who are excited about the day, right? And
I
especially
wake
people
up like that in the
who are going to
morning. I
help
wake up,
people.
good
Exactly.
morning. Like, that's my
Yes.
personality all the time. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're going to put all of your, I was going to put it up here in the banner, but I'm actually going to put all of your contact information in the chat, in the comment section. And we're also going to make a separate post in the SheEO district about how to engage you. So people need to be getting their mind ready for, I know we're in the Christmas season, but right after Christmas season is tax season.
After you spend
right?
all that money.
Yes. Exactly.
And I also want to tell you, I'm also part of a group that's called Associations of Black Tax Professional. That's the shirt I got on today. See my shirt? And if I'm not the one for you, you say, hey, she got too much energy, I can't deal with that. That's fine. I can always hook you up with a tax professional, one of us, that'll be just great for you. Yes, I have a lot of energy. I have to.
Absolutely. I love it personally.
Yes, it really is.
Right. So I know that you are in the world of taxes, but talk about your babies, your dancing babies, your business that you have with the babies that you're passionate about.
So I am a partner of City Street Dance Studio. I have a partner. Her name is Kels Monaghan. I probably said her last name wrong. I'm sorry. My daughters dance, my oldest and my youngest. I love dance. Dance has been a big part of my life. What people who don't know me, what they don't know is that my grandfather had 38 kids. Okay. And my family's originally from the Caribbean. All of my uncles, my aunts, my dad play music. It is embedded in our blood.
Wow.
Music is what makes me happy. And it just transpired over to my daughters. Like, they love dance. I love music. So the dance studio is just, it's not the most lucrative business, but it's heartfelt. It's heartfelt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love it. I love the girls. I just love the whole camaraderie with the parents and everybody. Like, we building a community, a family community. And the girls, like, class be over at 8:30. They still there. So tell your parents class is over. Like, you just want to stay here. So I absolutely love the dance studio. City Streets Dance Studio. Y'all looking for somewhere for your girls to dance?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. And we have to have that outlet outside of what we do on a day-to-day basis. It's all about finding that balance. We just can't be all one thing. We have to find something that we're passionate about and let that be our release, right?
That is definitely my release, because I can go in that studio. I can be in there all day.
Yes.
Time will pass. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't get nothing done. But I love it. I love it. I do. I love it.
Absolutely. So before we head it, I'm going to check to make sure we don't have any more questions.
Okay.
And I don't see any more questions. So again, what we'll put in the chat underneath this broadcast are the 4 books that she suggested. I'm actually going to purchase those books myself. Also her contact information, and we'll put it in the chat, and we'll have a separate post, 2 posts, 1 with her contact information and 2 with the books that she referred. And before we end the broadcast, Ms. Sharon, is there anything else you would like to share with the SheEO District community about taxes or anything that you have coming up? Anything you have going on?
No, not really. What I would like to share with people is, don't be scared of your taxes. Don't be scared to claim your money. It's your money. You made it. Don't be scared. A lot of people are just scared, and you don't have to be scared. If you do the right thing from the beginning, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And this is how I am when people come into the office. They're like, "Oh my God, I messed up. They're gonna lock me up?" No, they're not gonna lock you up. You're not Wesley Snipes. If you are, then different. But just fix it. Do the right thing. And you'll be fine.
Yeah. And that's one thing I did learn about the IRS over, these years of going through what I went through 12 years ago is they really do honestly want to give you an opportunity to fix it.
They do.
We so scared to engage.
And another thing I tell people is the IRS is not always correct. They are humans behind a computer like you and I. They make mistakes. I've seen a tax return where I sent over and it came back said the girl was deceased. She was sitting in front of me. So mistakes happen. Absolutely.
Wow.
The man-made world.
But one thing I will tell you, if you owe that stuff, don't just go away just because you don't address it. Now let's be clear on that.
That's true. That is
you can let it sit there all day, but it's not going away. And trust me, they ain't gonna forget either.
And it's compound interest and daily interest. So it's pretty hefty.
Yes, and it's their money and they want it. Yes, absolutely.
They can garnish your wages. They can do a lot to you, so it's not worth it.
Yeah. So again, just don't be scared. Just enlist someone and just tackle it and get it done. Just face it, own it, whatever it is, and just take care of it and get it done. So that I had, again, me being transparent, had to learn the hard way. Right?
Yes, and stay off of TurboTax.
Huh?
And stay off of TurboTax.
Oh, I've never used TurboTax before.
They've had a lot of issues this year. A lot.
Yikes. Yeah.
So
again, we will definitely have Miss Sharon's information in the on our in this broadcast chat, as well as a post, and we will actually pin that to the top because we want to again be a resource for entrepreneurs and make sure that they are getting the information that they need to be successful. And again, you'll be seeing a lot of Miss Sharon. I know it's going to get busy for her, but we definitely want to welcome her to our preferred vendor list, our preferred consultant list. Miss Sharon is very passionate about what she does. I've met with her personally myself, and it's just like you walking into her house, sitting in her living room. Like it's comfortable. That's what I felt personally, right? And so I'm excited about engaging her, and definitely will refer her to anyone. I'm a people person, and it starts with it's the heart to heart for me, and I felt that passion. You're not just there to get my money or just there to write up something and give me a check. No, you were asking like questions that I knew that you really are concerned about me as a person, not just me doing business with me. So that is important for me with the people that I work with. So thank you for that. Again, she and her dancing got the music turned up, so it's a very comfortable environment because it can be
very chillaxed.
It is. It really is.
It really is. To leave now.
Because it can be a tenseful situation, right? And a lot of people are scared to have tax conversation. So when you walk in the door, it just brings you on down and calms you on down. So when you sit in Miss Sharon's chair, it's all good. It's all good. Yes. And she literally put me at ease. Like, I was telling her, well, I got this going on. And she looking at me like,
that's
it's okay. It's okay. I'm like, dang,
just fix it.
Right, and I'm sure it's nothing she's not seen before, but it's got me all in a frenzy. But she really did put me at ease. Like, it's okay.
Problems that people can fix, and the problem is when they get these letters from the IRS, they ignore them.
Yeah,
they just totally ignore them. And then another thing is, and I want to encourage people: if you move, you need to send the IRS a letter as well, or there's a form that they have for you to change your address. Because if you have something going on, they're trying to contact you. They're not going to look for you. They're going to wait for you to file your taxes, and then they're going to be like, boom, you got this bill. You're going to be like, what happened? You moved.
Wow.
They don't have your address. So
Yeah.
you definitely
Boom.
update your address with the IRS.
Y'all get with Miss Sharon, so we'll have all the information for you. But ladies, thank you so much
Thank
for
you for having
spending,
me.
yes, for spending your Tuesday evening with us. Thank you so much,
You're
Miss
welcome.
Sharon,
Anytime.
for taking the
Anytime.
time. I know you're super busy. We appreciate you engaging with us, and we look forward again to working with you. But ladies, you all have a fantastic rest of the week, and make sure you are registered for conference. We have our Cyber special, Cyber Monday special still going on. We're probably going to run it through the end of the week. So go ahead and go to SheEO conference and get that discounted RSVP for conference on next week. So it'll be December 10th and 11th. Ladies, we thank you for joining us, and we will see you all back here on tomorrow.
Thank you.